there's a whole lot of stuff that happens. A lot of stuff is aimed at you. You have to deal with ideas that you edit yourself because they're a little over, or if you're in a certain mentality, which I am, and you deal with the more abstract nature of Saturday Night Live. There's a lot of stuff you're going to do which people are going to criticize and say you're being either antebellum or contom, because there's a lot of stuff that didn't bother me about portrayals. But I began to realize that not only was, and I was getting letters from a lot of people, including the NAACP. I got 2 letters from the NAACP. But there was also a way in which, although I'm sure the members of the group had the same abstract approach to ideas, um, no matter how much people may hear the premise, only some people are going to accept that and just uh, and divorce it from you, the person, right? Because I had one of the most hurting experiences when I was with Saturday Night Live was to have a gentleman who I helped to get on the show, a black gentleman who's a very talented comedian. The first thing he said to me was, "You're an Uncle Tom," and for me, there's a difference between what you might see somebody portray on TV. For instance, in Roots, must all the black characters be activists? They can't be. The actors, if somebody actors got to act out an Uncle Tom, you're going to do the real thing. So that's why I'm getting back to the whole thing about the nigger thing. In the future, does that mean that no actor can portray? That's what we took on as our mission. We take on as our mission to get on stage and do portrayals of characters. If you're going to do, say, Roots, and all of them are going to be Chicken George, or all of them are going to be William Du Bois, then you got no real thing going on. So for me, if you're doing a comedy show, particular Saturday Night Live, the premise already was there was nobody was sacred, nothing was sacred. So when I did stuff that apparently seemed to criticize black images, that is when I got into as much trouble as I can't really think of a similar thing because I'm thinking right now, if Larry the Cable Guy was black, can you imagine how many people would be complaining about him? I right now, while I'm doing Two Broke Girls, have gotten a lot of flack, right? This is a black gentleman who's working at 75, which is a positive thing. He is not coming out of having been homeless. He actually had a career. He's retired. And I've gotten tweets and stuff, even using the word demeaning. And again, fill out the race card. If it was turned around, it was just some white guy sitting there busy, an old gentleman retired working. That's all. And my thing about that, because I've used it before, is that, they talk to me about it. And I use Larry the Cable Guy as a great thing because if Jeff Foxworthy, who's brilliant, by the way, had found a black guy who's just as brilliant, and I had him doing it, boy, would they be calling him all kinds of names, right? Because people see the color when they become somebody black or Latin or Asian and not the comedy. Tell you what I mean. In the thing I'm in, right, Two Broke Girls, right? Kat Dennings' character, if she was black and every week saying what she says, particularly talking about her mom like that, hey, they be saying that Michael Patrick King was the most racist guy ever invented. But nobody says it because she is a white lady, and if she is eating watermelon, it's just a white lady eating watermelon. If I'm eating watermelon, it's stereotypical, and that's how I see a lot of what happens Saturday Night Live. I admit that's a lot of stuff that I see now that, maybe I should, but for me, if they don't give a black actor or an Asian actor like the same room for doubt that they give the white characters, then it's just not fair. A lot of stuff, West Coast been like, water on the duck's back, but a lot of it did bother me, and I'm sure that a lot of what happened in my own personal life, which I won't go into, a lot of stuff, happened where I'm very much an introvert anyway, okay? And that's a characteristic which most of my friends know about, but not a lot of people know about. So I found myself becoming very much that thing for like a couple of years. Had me just in my house alone. Um, but I've always been, even though I knew that was about me, I've always been a person who basically, I don't know how to say it, but my thing basically was, I know I'm trying to do it the right way. Fuck you, okay? So basically, that is really what I felt. But also, I had to get together. A lot of stuff happened, which resulted in a lot of drug stuff, which I got into drugs. But see, I hate to talk about it like that because that's blaming it on say it's me, Garrett Morris. Simply had something that I really had to get, which I think I've halfway started to get it together. Um, but yeah, it did affect me. It affected me in terms it brought that out. I was very much to myself. Spent a lot of time at home, um, and when if it gets you to feeling sorry for yourself, then that's when I started getting mad at myself, angry at myself for allowing it to cause me to get that way.